'Twas late in December, with vacation begun. The bustle of the day, the wrapping all done. The darkness settled down, the night cold, crisp, and clear. Visions of the next day, the great insert holiday name here. I, as the narrator, had taken off for the day, a well-deserved vacation, and I drifted away. When the phone by my bedside buzzed up 123, what to my surprise, a text from the Narrator Temp Agency. "Come round at once," it read. "Your paper-thin friend refuses to let a temp narrate his beginning or end. You'll have to come quick to see what is the matter. Better bring a broom, a get-her-done bucket, and a ladder." I threw the cat off my lap where she snuggling lay, dreaming about mice and a tuna souffle. I pulled on the stockings I'd draped o'er my chair, and rushed through the kitchen like a sled through the air. I grabbed my cat from its peg, ran down to my shop, found the stuff from the text. Alas, no broom, but a mop. I took a shortcut I knew up the stairs past some rocks, rushed by the store, the glue, and the haunted Chinese takeout box. I ran through the production staff, the 3M sticky note compartment. I even tripped over Jim from the lyric department. I sped to friend Blank's house, Jim whopping behind me. I threw open Blank's door, and what did my astonishing eye see? A big pile of plaster, Blank's dotted eyes X's, and a hole in his roof, in the rough shape of Texas. I rushed to Blank's side, jumped the fallen tree's star. My gosh, I don't even know how to perform stick figure CPR. I mean, he's already flat, so how do you know if he's dead? But then I could see little birds being drawn around his head. I helped him sit up, put a crease in his waist, put my thumb over his outline so we could cut to his regular face. "Are you alright, Blank?" I shouted, my face covered in fear. "But since you've never seen me, I'll just wave my hands around over here." I looked at the huge mess on the floor in his room. Wished I'd listened when they said I should be bringing a broom. Just then the snow avalanched through the hole with a plop, and I knew in a moment I'd have use for my mop. The bird stopped orbiting around Blank's yellow head oval, but the look on his face was still very woeful. The word balloon there only showed squiggle lines, as if the brains in his noggin had been scrambled behind. So I simply waited nearby, my hands folded in patience. He wasn't made of newspaper, or I could have increased his circulation. His balloon began showing pictures, so I knew he'd recover. "Whatever happened to you, Blank, and what caused all this clutter?" Blank looked up at the stars, which twinkled through his roof. He gave me a look as if to say, "What are you, a goof?" But before I could use my narrator voice to fight back, the door to his bedroom slammed open with a thwack. Down the hall, down the stairs, 2 dust cyclones came running, like twin Tasmanian devils chasing Bugs Bunny. They swooped through the living room, and I thought, what the heck? So I dropped in the appropriate whirlwind sound effect. Tornadoes whirled once around Blank and the rubble, whooshed through the kitchen and left on the double. I rewound the vid, pushed pause as they appeared, and I saw Bullet, Blank's dog, chasing a tiny reindeer. "What's that, you say, Blank? That's who fell through your ceiling? Who made your house and your front room so very unappealing? Well, that's absurd, Blank. There's no logical proof. How could Bullet have gotten up on your roof?" "Oh, I see what you mean, Blank. Not the dog from up there. It was the reindeer that appeared from out of thin air. We should go up with the ladder that I brought along, and I'll say what I always say. What could possibly go wrong?" Now you may be asking, when you compare a Texas-sized hole, how could a tiny reindeer create something so out of control? Wouldn't it have been much smaller than what was actually done? Blank grabbed the ladder and we rushed out of his place, ruining the untouched blanket of snow in our haste. Leaned the ladder up against the side of his abode. Blank started to climb. Then I looked out in the road. There's nothing like old memories so instantly sparked by that sleigh with 7 reindeer so obviously double parked. Nearby a man stood as the snow began to worsen. Once he was called Elf, but now we say Little Person. Neither was he fat, no longer John, but what can you expect? He's metabolically challenged, and now he's politically correct. He laid a finger alongside of his electronic device and checked in on his Facebook, not one time, but twice. "Yo, yo, yo," the tiny man unexpectedly called, clearly trying to be relevant in a rapidly changing world. He whistled a long note and then a short one right after, like the name of his reindeer, and called out, "Now dash ya!" He paused but a moment until we heard clipping hooves. across the neighbors' driveways, and yes, over their roofs. The 8th deer appeared, followed closely behind by an exhausted stick dog, his legs intertwined. He explained with a sad smile as he led us to Blank's foyer. "You guys not so good, but I'm an equal opportunity employer. I hired a Halloweener, but he didn't tighten the main trace. He fell like a rock. Should have seen the look on the deer's face." At the thought of his reindeer plunging down to earth, he couldn't help but laugh aloud, and we joined in his mirth. And because a good laugh makes everything better, Blank wasn't upset when he found that his gift was a sweater. He tapped the good checkbox in the app next to Blank's name and patted Tire Bullet's head, then brightly exclaimed, "No cookie for me here. Sorry to cut things short. I'm gonna have to hurry back now and fill out an accident report." He left murmuring something as the snow continued to fall. The only part I caught was, "Another darn safety protocol." He secured the leads tightly, climbed up behind his deer, snapped the whip once for effect, and shouted, "Have a wonderful instant horny name here."